Good evening. What are we doing right now?
Oh my God. I couldn't get the show started tonight. I don't know what was happening to me.
It's in the air.
It's the smoke, man.
I know.
It's so smoky. It's so smoky.
Yeah. So we decided to do something different, everybody, tonight. We wanted to take a break from our normal proceedings, right?
Yeah.
We wanted to do some fun stuff that me and you used to do. We used to do like travel. We used to travel in our minds. Yes.
Astral projection.
Astral projection.
Astral projection.
Not downtown anywhere. You guys are welcome to the show.
Fun. We're going somewhere I used to live.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We are going somewhere where you used to live. Where are we going?
We're going to Washington's Crossing, Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah. Yes. I remember that. I did a lot of extensive research. As you can tell, I have my smart glasses on tonight.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
She looks amazing.
So hold on.
Here we go.
I have something to talk about really fast.
Okay, what?
Okay, so this is funny. Every year we have what is called the fair, and it comes and makes its way into our area, which Colleen knows. And every year I am what they call skeletons on the street that I live. Okay.
Yeah.
And so we set up this whole scene and everybody looks forward to it. And I am actually doing Jeff Dunham setup.
Are you?
Okay. Yeah. Yes, I have on one side of my. That's another. Anyway, so I have a little tiny skeleton, and I'm looking for the little tiny skeleton, and I'm like, "Where's the baby skeleton? Where's the baby?" We have made my other half like tear everything apart. We looked in everything.
Yeah.
Basement 3 times. 3 people. 3.
Okay.
Couldn't find it. And so we sat there taking a break and I'm like, where the heck did I do with this thing? And he's like, did you loan it to somebody? Did you put it somewhere else? And I'm like, no. 5 minutes go by and I look at my other half and I went, oh my God.
Where was it?
And he's like, what? I walk into the kitchen. I look above my coffee bar. And there it is.
What?
My baby skeleton. I did. The whole year. It's been up there.
Oh, I didn't notice it when I was over. How did I not notice the skeleton up there?
So yes, folks, it does happen. You can make your spouse look for things inside and out.
You're not supposed to admit it though, Jess. You're like, God, the poltergeist did it.
Speaking of which,
okay.
So we are talking about Washington's Crossing in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
By the way, if nobody's been to PA, it's beautiful, but hot and muggy. I've been there.
Hot and
but it's beautiful. Very green.
Yes.
So, yes. So picture it. We're going to kind of go back in time. And we're talking about 1776. If nobody knows what the crossing of, Washington's Crossing is, it's General George Washington. This is where he led 2,400 half-starved, half-frozen soldiers across an ice-choked river in the dark of the night. This was a really important turning part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The mission was a surprise attack on the Hessian force at Trenton. And isn't Trenton like kind of like right there?
Trenton, New Jersey is across, down a little ways to the south. But the Hessians were actually, they sided with the British, right? They came in to side with the British when we were during the Revolution. They were camped between Washington's Crossing and Trenton, New Jersey. Yeah. So it's right across the river, and then head south a little ways. Yep.
And believe it or not, just because it's like, from what I understand the weather, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but in the wintertime, it gets bitter cold, right?
Really cold, really. It was the first time I ever experienced, my first year at the Naval Air Station there was 32 consecutive ice storms.
That is crazy. For being when I was over there, it was like really nice and hot and humid.
Oh, yeah. It's weird. The extreme of both sides.
Right.
Yeah.
But Washington's gamble, obviously, we know today for history that it did pay off, and the crossing saved actually the revolution and maybe the idea of America itself, if we really think about it. Mm-hmm. But yet there's also a lot of question. Did all the men truly make it across? Or, like there's some stuff that we could talk about later.
Right.
So Washington's crossing, we know that it's on the Delaware, correct? Not too far away from the Delaware.
It's right on the Delaware.
Because that's what. Yeah. And for history, we talk about. I got lost. I'm lost, Colleen. Apparently, I'm lost. I don't even know where it went. We might have to edit that out.
What? No, we're not editing that out. What happened to your screen?
So lost. My everything kind of shut down. I'm like,
let me. Oh.
On. Okay. Well,
are you back?
Washington's crossing. Now, this is on the Delaware, and I'm looking it up because now I lost everything.
How did you lose it all? Should we start over again?
I don't know. No, we can just edit it out.
Life, guys. This is what happens sometimes on your podcast.
Good Lanta.
I'll have like 10 tabs open to share all these documents and stuff.
That's what happened. I'm like, where is you guys, I'm sorry. Obviously, my smart glasses are not working today.
So I'll go ahead and talk while you're finding stuff. So this is a Google map of Washington's crossing. And it's in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, which is where I lived with not too far from this area right here. And I kept my horses in this area, and there's a lot of horse shows here. But Washington's Crossing, they have a pub there, very cool pub built in the early 1700s. Where,
don't they do reenactments down there too?
Well, they do. They do a Christmas Eve reenactment of the March Across coming up. So what they did, let me get back to this map. This road right here is where our troops, bloody and frozen. Some of them didn't have shoes. They had rags on their feet, and the snow had cut and the ice had cut their feet to just bloody messes. They kept marching because they knew down here to the south was the British forces, and they knew that the Hessian forces were over here. And if they could cross, they got it. There was a runner that had notes, they had a lot of notes going back and forth. They knew that the Hessian soldiers were all drunk. And if they had to take advantage of it so they could get across and take advantage of the fact that the Hessians had been drinking, because they had mysteriously gotten their hands on a bunch of rum, which I'm sure.
And it wasn't tea. Maybe they thought it was tea.
Yeah. And they knew that if they could take advantage of that night, that they'd be able to come in and attack the British.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. I know that it's a 500-acre park is what I understand.
Yeah.
And there's like a lower, it's divided into like two sections. There's the lower part, and then there's the village of Washington's Crossing. And so it's a huge area that people can go see some interesting historical stuff. It also, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. No, there's Bowman's Tower, but this is the little village where the tavern, Washington's Crossing Inn right here.
Yeah.
Neat little place. Yeah.
Yeah, they said there's like 13 historical buildings that are still standing.
Mm-hmm.
And so It's the Ferry Inn. It was at McConaughey's Ferry Inn. Yeah, probably. And that's actually a place where General Washington ate his dinner and drank, I'm sure.
Yep.
He ate with wooden teeth. Is it true he had wooden teeth?
I think so. If you look at these tavern, like all these buildings right here, these are the ones built in the 1700s, early 1700s.
Yeah.
They're meticulously restored too.
Yeah. They have to keep like up with the actual historical preservation and what it looked like. If people don't know that, it's like if you have a historical home, you can't do a lot of changes to it to make it look different. It has to remain as what it was, basically. So, and then I guess located there about 5 miles is the Sulbury Township.
Yep,
and that's in Bucks County.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
It is the park's northern section, the upper park, and that's about 100 acres. And there's the Bowman's Hill Tower.
Bowman's Tower is, let me find it here. It's been to the top.
Yep.
Yeah, here it is. It's
then there's the Thompson Neely House. Did you ever see that?
Yes, it is. It's really cool to go through there. Bowman's Tower this is the picnic field. And then there was a really large, really tall tower itself. Trying to find it. It's somewhere over here because it's really close to the river. But yeah. And then is all Sulbury, and yeah. Very, 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 very wealthy area.
Yeah, with a lot of horses, right?
Oh boy. And we're talking estates that have so much money that they have. My friend's parents' estate they have statues of horses running through the fields so that when there are horses in the barn, there's always horses in the field.
So everybody's like going like, "Hey, Margaret, do you see that horse standing out there? It's not moving."
Like you can't tell. But no, they really do. They have, oh my God, it's so much money back there. It's ridiculous. And I'm talking this much money like in the late 80s.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And yeah.
What a horse. I bet these horses are ones that go like race horses and stuff like that.
They're like a lot of the Olympic level caliber horses back there.
Oh, yeah.
Big time trainers.
Oh,
yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
And so also, just so you guys know that house, the Thiele House, is that what it is? Thompson Neely House. It was used as a military hospital during Washington's encampment in the area. And apparently there's about 40 to 60 graves of soldiers that died there. They don't know the exact location of where all the soldiers were and where they were buried, but they did partially unearth during a construction that was nearby the house and unearth some graves. Looks like it was on the Delaware Canal, and it was done in the 19th century. And during the construction projects, 23 memorial headstones as a reminder is set there now. But all the rest of them, they don't know where they're buried. It could have changed through the years, but yeah. There is a visitor center there. It was renovated in 2011, and it also features a small exhibit of like Revolutionary War artifacts and an original letter that George Washington wrote while he was at the Ferry Inn. So if anybody wants to go and check it out, really cool.
It's a beautiful place inside. It's very historic, and that was where I learned about door taxes. So a lot of these old like 1700 homes have really, really tall windows, like 8 feet tall windows. And then on the bottom, on the window sill, is actually hinged so that you can open the window and the sill opens up and becomes a door, because you got taxed on how many doors you had in your home. So they'd have one door, but all these big tall windows would open up and become doors. That's how they got around it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these houses are beautiful over there. Like I was looking at some of them and I couldn't believe, and they also have the tall barns over there. If nobody's ever been over there, they have these huge tall barns, and they're not like the ones that you see over on our side of things. They're like straight, but it looks like they have like 10 levels of barn. I don't know. It's crazy.
A lot of them are called bank barns. So there's a slope and they build the barn in. So if you're on the uphill side, it's one story and you drive in there and you can unload all your hay. Then if you go down around the hill, the horses and the livestock are underneath the hay storage. So, but it's 2 levels that you can enter into, and it kept your livestock warmer. They were insulated with all that hay on top.
That's
and the
true.
barn was built into the bank for structure.
Yeah. I'm just curious, like, why don't we do that here? Because I think we would be a lot warmer with some. We have like very cold, bitter.
I don't know. You would think. I mean, maybe we're pretty flat out here in the valley. I don't know. I mean, it's very hilly out there, but not. We have a lot of hills here, so I don't know.
Right.
Maybe it's just more of a German design, the German bank barns. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Amish back there, a lot of Quaker, a lot of German folk. Yeah.
Yeah. So with all this history, I was wondering, did you find a lot of ghost stories?
Oh my gosh. Girl, what isn't haunted back here, right? So it's one of those things where there is just so much. You can spend days and days talking about everything haunted. And for somebody like us who we're so into everything haunting and going and experiencing all this stuff, or doing investigations, it was really heaven to live back there. Every piece of road has history. There was some skirmish or battle. I mean, New Hope, where we were, and I'll bring it up again so you can see it. Revere has his house there, right?
Oh yeah.
So a lot of there we go. Just tons of, and I'm a Revolutionary War buff, so for me, having this amount of history is just it's incredible. Let me get the map back up so I can show it to you. So this is all of New Hope. Like the Bucks County Playhouse, I'm telling you, that place is off the hook with activity there.
I heard it was formerly called Taylorsville.
There is time. Yeah, because if you see, there's still some old Taylorsville tags out here on certain houses and whatnot. So yeah, very, 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 very wealthy. I can't even explain to you. It's kind of like it is so wealthy out here. It's ridiculous.
You're like,
yeah.
Oh,
it's like movie stars. Like everybody's driving Jags and everybody's driving. I mean, it's very wealthy. Okay. So let's go into, I'm going to show you something called Peddler's Village.
Oh, and
yes, it's Peddler's Village is just outside of New Hope. And when I first went there, I thought I was in heaven. I was just like, you got to be kidding me. I think they have one of the oldest functional carousels in the United States. It's still there. Where's the
carousel? With the old horses and everything, and the place
down in here somewhere. There's a round building. If I remember correctly, there's actually a round building that houses the carousel. Here it is. This is the carousel. And let me see if I can, let me see if, I'm like trying to get everything to work. Okay.
That's me too.
Yeah. I am going to quickly show you the carousel. And I have to tell you, if you don't experience hauntings, go to this carousel when it's empty and you will experience something.
So are you saying this is where it would come out of the carousel with the balloon?
I'm telling you, this carousel has got activity like you wouldn't believe. I've got to start share again. There we go. This is one of the original carousels built.
Oh, wow.
Still, and it's meticulously restored and maintained. It's incredible.
That is, wow, look at that.
It's incredible.
I bet you that costs so much money to like upkeep.
Oh, and to build that beautiful building, that round building around it.
Yeah, to really keep it safe.
It's really something. And here's the actual building it's in.
Oh, wow.
Because the carousel is active all year. It's not just in the summer. Peddler's Village at Christmas time is it's like the adult Disneyland. It's like so beautiful when you go there. It's all lit up. There's a lot of shops there, but let's talk about some of the hauntings. So this town, the Peddler's Village itself, which is Washington's Crossing, doesn't have a whole lot. You have those historic buildings, and definitely the tavern there has activity. I'm not sure if it's going to come up in my writing. I did this.
And then they do the enactments. I know that we talked about that a little bit, but they do the reenactments of Washington Crossing, which was interesting. I've seen a lot of videos and stuff like that, how they do it. And they really get into character. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Well, they also have replicas of the boats they use, because remember, they were not just crossing soldiers,
the ferries,
horses, and they weren't that big. So I'm like, I'm imagining the horses had to swim alongside, because they were not that big. So they do have replicas there because they had pieces, and when they kind of reassembled it, they understood the design and structure of the boats, so they rebuilt them for the reenactment.
Yeah.
So Peddler's Village itself was established by English Quakers in 1701. So when you're talking history of the United States, and I know this is not like Europe history goes back so far, right? And we're in a fairly new country. So I looked at a house to buy back there that was built like in the 1720s. And to us, that's really, really old, right? And it is old for us. So the town grew. There was only like 15 houses, a store, and what was cool is they had a coach factory. Not like purses, guys. I'm talking like
not dirty.
Yeah, not handbags. I know my friend would be going.
Okay, folks. I have lost Colleen. I don't know where she went.
And I'm back. I don't have no clue what just happened.
Well, I just think it's George Washington coming back. I was like, and we're back, folks.
I'm telling you, what is going on?
I have lost Colleen.
I'm telling you. I'm like, I'm not even going to edit this out. You guys need to see what we deal with on a regular basis.
This is welcome to Asphalt Encounters.
Oh my God. Okay. So over time, it grew to about 15 houses, a store, a hotel, a coach factory, a few shops. Okay. And then there was this 2-story tavern built. And this is one of the most haunted locations. It's really cool. It's called the Golden Plow Inn. And I will bring up some pictures here. And everything back here is so unbelievably pretty. It's everything back here is made out of stone, and it's it's just one of the material that they had an abundance of. So here's the Golden Plow.
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, Yes.
Can I just say that their houses are so beautiful back there, and so are their clothes. Have you looked at some of these guys' clothes? Like fancy. They probably did have Gucci back then. I'm just saying.
They may have. Okay. So it was originally a 2-story stone tavern, and what I just showed you is not the stone, and I don't know where it went. But it a lot of the historic houses back there are completely made out of rock, right? Big like river rock, because there's a lot of water in Pennsylvania, as you can imagine. In New Jersey, it just rains. You don't irrigate crops. You don't have to irrigate because it rains every day. I swear it rains every single day, especially in the summer. It gets hot and humid, and then it starts raining. So the Golden Plough was built in the mid-1800s, and it was a prime stop for stagecoach drivers and passengers. One evening at the inn, and I'm reading this from it's called History Lives, Haunted Peddler's Village, and they said that one evening at the inn, the night auditor, which I'm assuming is like the person at the front counter, the night auditor returned to the lobby to find a trail of coffee stirrers arranged on the floor, forming a line from the coffee station across the room to the front desk. On other occasions, they have phone calls from unoccupied rooms, and they have lights that turn themselves on and off. And guests have reported the dark figure of a man standing at the end of the second floor hallway outside room 222. So it's pretty interesting. You feel a lot of energy when you're there. People have heard deep voices in there saying, "What do you want?" Or, and one of the things that I find interesting on when we do EVPs, like when we're out in an investigation, they don't speak in that, I guess, what's the term for it? The colloquial language of the time. Like, where's thou art? Where are you? Where are they?
Where's thou teeth?
Yeah. So they don't speak like that on our EVPs. They'll say something like, "What do you want?" But that's not how they would have spoke at the time. It would have been very proper Queen's English kind of, or King's English, or whatever, however you say it. It would have been very, very different. So I don't know why there's that disconnect. And then think about it too, that most of the EVPs we get are in English. Even ghost hunters in other countries like Spain and whatnot, their EVPs are in English. I don't know if they're hearing or they're saying things in the language you understand.
Oh, that's kind of like a deep portal kind of thing. Like,
I don't know.
Is it something that we want to hear?
One EVP in Spanish one time, but it's really, really rare.
That's interesting.
So there's a story about some in the Golden Plough about this Bet's spirit, and that's the coffee station thing and apparently they've named it Bet, B-E-T-T. I don't know why, if there was somebody in the inn at one time or owned the inn named Bet who messes around with the inn. And let's see. There's another report of people seeing the apparition of a man outside room 202. So that second floor seems to have a lot of activity. And then, okay, so this is in Yardley, and I'm going to open up this. If I can open it. Yep, can't. Why can't I? There's another inn that's not too far from here called the Continental Tavern. And this was reportedly part of the Underground Railroad.
Oh, yeah.
And the pub has had a couple of murders in it. It had all the activity from the Underground Railroad. And during recent renovations, they found stuff from the Prohibition era. So think about it. You've got all that activity anyway, and then they renovate. It's going to kick up all that activity.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
Things have moved on their own. Oh, and then they found all these artifacts. So it's pretty cool. This estate I've actually been to. Shoot, it won't let me. It's called the Penryn Estate. Let me see if I can pull it up here.
I heard that Peddler's Village. You said that in when I was reading a little bit about it, there was like some hauntings that also kind of beef up during Christmas. Because I guess it's like a magical land when people go and.
It is so beautiful there at Christmas time with all the poinsettias and the lights. And it's just like, for me, it's magic. But in the summertime, you have all the lightning bugs everywhere. It's incredible.
Oh, that is
incredible.
When I was over there in June, I've never seen the lightning bugs. And they're so magical. I mean, it's a bug, but it just gives you that. I don't know what it is. Like, it's like, well, that's cool.
I managed a horse farm probably about 30 minutes away from this area. Mm-hmm. And I lived there for a couple of years while I was in the Navy. I did this other job, and I had to go to bed really early because of my shift in the service. And one of the gals knocking on the door, because the apartment I lived in was a really large apartment, but it was in the barn. It was attached to the barn. They're like, Colleen, you have to come out and see this. And I'm like, what? And they're like, lightning bugs. I'm like, yeah, because you see them every night. And they're like, no, you need to see this. And right behind the horse barn was, it's all hardwood forest back there. So it's not conifer, it's hardwood, deciduous trees. That's all the color you get in the fall. Maples and all that. And so I go outside, go out and I'm like, what? And then she goes, look. And I look up. And they had a lightning bug migration.
Oh my gosh.
Like every 20 years. And they had come into this hardwood forest and it looked like a Disney set. We sat out there and probably 4 a.m. just watching the light show. It was incredible. It was unlike anything I've ever seen. It was incredible.
Yeah, I wonder if any of our listeners would have any pictures or watchers. Maybe they can send it to us. That'd be cool.
That would be really, really cool. This is back before cell phones and all that stuff. So if you didn't have your little pocket camera, you weren't going to catch anything, which is probably a good thing because, I didn't need that. So here we go. Here is the Penryn Estate.
Oh, that's
Isn't that
beautiful.
Incredible? Yes. The ghost, allegedly, there's a ghost of Robert Bickley who haunts this estate. And he was the heir apparent to the family's fortune, and apparently it infuriated his father Abraham when he either married a commoner or fell in love with a woman who opposed the British. Oh. So during the Revolution. Anyway, on Christmas Eve, apparently Robert and Abraham got into this huge fight. Abraham disinherited his son and kicked him off the estate. And Robert was never seen or heard from again, and they're wondering if there wasn't foul play involved with that, because he's been seen in the estate and on the grounds, kind of like covered in slime.
Oh.
Yeah. Wild, huh? Like
so those windows you were talking about, those windows?
Oh, yeah. You want me to go back to that?
Yeah, sure. If people don't know what the tall windows, they were talking about the money.
These don't open. These don't open. I'm looking at them.
Oh,
okay. These aren't the kind that open. Let me show you, but where they would have been. Screen. So this is probably due to a remodel, right?
Oh, so
back, do you see where my mouse is?
Uh-huh.
Back in the 1700s, probably maybe through the 1800s, not sure. But this right here you would see a hinged opening. And so this bottom, and this would be a double, like it would hinge. The window would actually hinge open. So the whole thing would open up to become a door. Yeah. You there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry, my cat was at the door. Sorry. She wanted to hear the ghost story.
There you go. The King George II Inn. This inn is in, let me find it here. It's in Bristol, Pennsylvania. And it, let's see. This one has visitors have reported slamming of doors and unexpected chair movement. It's pretty cool. It was built in about 1861. Let me see if I can find an outside image. Interesting. I don't have one, but they have this image, this very old image from the inside of it. It's very cool looking. I want to go. I don't think I've been to this one. I don't remember being to this one. Look at the ceiling art.
Oh my gosh.
Cool? Yeah.
It is so cool.
Yes. I just love how everybody dressed too.
I know. Can you imagine wearing the heavy dresses that the women had to wear back then to be fancy?
Yes. Can you imagine how, everybody probably was very stinky.
Yeah.
There's other reports in here of a man wearing a top hat and the cries of babies are heard. And I don't know what that's about. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Doesn't make you feel good.
No.
And then, let's see. This one here is... I'm trying to think if this is the one. Yes, this is the one. Craven Hall. And let me... No, this one is... the King Mansion. So let me open this. Oh gosh, my computer.
So it's interesting. We have also a huge presence of the Amish community, correct?
Huge.
Yeah. So they are also part of building this whole area. And it's pretty interesting to learn about their, how they live, and keep in mind that I guess nowadays some of them do have electricity, some of them do, but there are some families that are still very, very to tradition.
I'm not sure. Do the Amish have any electricity, or is that the Mennonites?
I watched a show and it was Escaping Amish or something like that. Like, not Escaping Amish, but they didn't want to be part of that anymore. And so they would actually go, all the young kids would sneak off and go party and everything. And they all have phones.
They give them a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a term for it. The name escapes me, where they can go see what it's like to not be Amish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But the Quakers and the Mennonites, because they live in this area too. Mm-hmm. And they have electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah, their farms are totally modern, except you can tell a Mennonite farm because the clothing is still Amish, but they use tractors and they have electricity. Boy, their farm, they're postcard perfect. Everything is perfectly mowed, perfectly tended. There's not a weed in sight. Everything is perfect. Yeah. It's crazy.
And they make the best food. Oh my gosh.
They do. And the Quakers also have, they have their own senior care facilities as their population ages. They have Quaker senior facilities, rest homes, all this kind of stuff, care facilities. I've been to their services, like church services, to see what they're like. Mm-hmm. And you want to talk about, they're sitting straight up like this because their church bills are it's truly fire and brimstone. I was looking at my friend going, oh boy.
Why are we here?
It was 2 hours and they kept staring at us. I went to everything back there. I wanted to experience all of it,
Yeah. And it's good to do that.
Yeah, it was good. but whew, it was brutal. Anyway, so this is Bristol, Pennsylvania. So this is the King Mansion. Here we go.
Oh, that's wow.
Yeah. And isn't that gorgeous? And it was, and okay, see that window on the side?
Mm-hmm.
That's a door.
That's the...
That whole thing becomes a door so they don't get taxed. So this was built in, okay, it doesn't say exactly when it was built, at least on my write-up, but it was the former home owned by the Keene family, and the most famous resident was Sarah Lukens Keene, who was a lifelong bachelorette, and her most famous rejected suitor was Joseph Bonaparte, and the former king of Spain, and the brother
Bonaparte.
The brother to Napoleon.
Let me tell you,
and
that's probably why. Bonaparte.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she's been seen, and so has Joseph, along the river in front of the mansion. So there you go. Yeah. And then there's Craven Hall. Let's see if I can find that one.
And then we have the brewery. I heard there's a brewery there.
At Craven?
I think so. If I remember right, there was a pub and then there's a brewery, maybe a little bit outside of Peddlers. Apparently that's haunted as well. I'm trying to find the name. This is so, it's just amazing on how much history and, like.
Yeah. So these, like this Craven Hall, which I'm going to show to you, is what's interesting is my dentist back there had a home that looked exactly like this for his dentist office. And see the white facade that they have over this? It's like almost like a plaster.
Oh yeah.
He thought he was going to have the plaster redone, and then they recovered as the plaster started crumbling. He had a guy come out to redo the siding, and they found the stone behind it. So it was modernized to not look stone, and they took all that junk off of it and repointed all the stone, and it was spectacular. But isn't that funny how we did the same thing? Like we went from brick to stucco, and now we're back to brick, and you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It's just interesting. Probably because, everything is so expensive. Like, I wonder how much it cost them to build a house back in those days versus now.
I don't know.
Where is Dirty Birdie when we need him?
Like the ceilings with the beams are just like right at maybe 6.5 feet, 7 feet with the beams hang down.
Oh, yeah.
And that for
the attics, too.
Mm-hmm.
Were amazing.
Yes. But you needed to keep things low for warmth. They didn't have these huge, tall, ginormous homes unless you had these big halls. And then you had so Craven Hall, there's a soldier from the 1700s is seen in and around that hall. Mm-hmm. The Temperance House, I have been to the Temperance House. We had beer that were on night, so let me show you that. It's in Newtown, Pennsylvania, and they actually have pretty good food.
Oh, yeah.
I've been here a lot. Let me see. Let me go to inside. It's a pretty neat bar. And then there's another little bar, which is not in here in the Hauntings, but I will tell you a little bit about it because I was in this bar probably every week, and I can tell you there's a lot of activity. Yeah. So this is the old Temperance House. Really
that
cool.
Is so
old
cool.
Original bar. It's just it's old. It's been there forever. This was built in 1772, and apparently there's another paranormal group had gone in there, and they apparently show an apparition of a man that's kind of starts floating through the room. So that's cool.
I was reading too, like on going back to like Washington's Crossing. There's been a lot of sites and everything there too. Like people say that they can hear the boats on the river, and then they see like cloaked figures. I thought that was pretty interesting. And drum beats. I guess you hear drum beats out there at the crossing. Oh. I was just reading a bunch of stuff on that too as well. So it's pretty interesting. People talk about like they see that. They also hear a dog barking and there's no dog.
Oh.
Yeah.
And where is this?
At the crossing where Washington crossed. I was just reading a bunch of stuff about the hauntings and all that over there as well. Yeah, and then like Bowman's Hill Tower.
Yes.
Legend says that Washington's men once used that as a lookout.
Yep.
And now they have like icy cold spots inside the tower, unexplained whispers, shadow figures, everything. So it was pretty interesting to read about that.
This is called the horse. I think they used to call it the White Horse, and it may be renamed. I'm not sure, but this is called the Horse Tavern and Inn now, and it looks just like this. It's in Sellersville, which is not that far away. And
look at all those beautiful horses.
I know, and they're big.
Oh my gosh,
they're big horses. They're probably standard breds. You know, a lot of standard breds back there were carriage horses. Look how over in the knees this poor horse was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, and look at how stern the women's dresses are. Ugh. But
I couldn't.
Yeah.
Especially going through menopause, I couldn't do it.
So this is a pretty cool tavern. I've spent many a night in there, and it's still there. It's still functional. And this is, let's see, I'm going to show you another one because this is cool. So Bucks County has a community college.
Oh, yeah.
And this Tyler Hall, haven't actually been inside this one, but it's beautiful. Let me get this up on the screen. I'll tell you about it. Look at this.
Oh, that's like a castle.
I know. Isn't that gorgeous? So this is on Swamp Road in Newton. And it is the former resident Stella Tyler, because this was a home, wanders around apparently. And she sets off alarms. She turns on appliances in the kitchen. She's seen mostly at night, and it's believed that she takes up residence here because this is where she was the happiest.
Yeah.
But yeah, isn't that incredible?
That is incredible. I was just thinking she's probably upset because of all the rooms that she has to clean.
Well, and look at the cobblestone. I've got to imagine that this cobblestone is probably original too.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things I noticed in some of those areas on those original they have brick or cobblestone streets, like they very rarely have to do maintenance on that stuff.
I know. It's amazing how those streets can stay. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they do, but I don't know. But I also think it's probably really protected now because of the history.
Yeah. Everywhere you go there. I mean, literally everywhere you go. Oh, and this is just, it's haunted. There's an activity everywhere. That's why, okay, so this is the county where Signs was filmed.
Signs.
The movie Signs.
Oh, the one with the little boy.
It had Mel Gibson and
oh yeah, that one.
That Signs, yeah. So I mean, because the corn's spooky, right? Corn is spooky.
Isn't that where also the Children of Corn were filmed too?
I don't know where they filmed it, but but that movie was filmed there. It was not too far from my house where they filmed it because they'd hang out in Doylestown, which is the county seat. Okay, so this this covered bridge, I used to go through it nearly every day.
Oh, that is so beautiful. Yes. That reminds me of Beetlejuice covered bridge.
Oh yeah, yeah. So this is the Van Sant Bridge, but it is also nicknamed Crybaby Bridge, and people hear baby crying, the sounds of young woman like I don't know what the legend stems from, but I'm wondering if there wasn't a child thrown across over the bridge or somehow lost over that bridge at one time over into the little stream. Not sure, but it is pretty cool. And there was several of these covered bridges where I lived, several of them that are still maintained. You come, they're one vehicle only, and so you stop and give it, everybody the right of way. So, and then of course there's the Aaron Burr house, and this one is pretty incredible. And this, let me see, this is it. This one here, it's beautiful. Oh, isn't that a pretty house?
That yellow. Yeah. I just love it.
The whole design. I think this is called Queen Anne, but I'm not sure. I'm not an architect, so I don't remember. But anyway, it says, of course, he was the vice president of the United States, and he was said to have hidden in the house while he was on. Friends of Aaron Burr were said to have hidden him in the house when he was on the run after killing Alexander Hamilton. Remember, there was the famous duel between Hamilton and Burr. This was in 1804. And so apparently people have seen Burr's ghost kind of like peeking around corners and wandering throughout the house, especially apparently on the second floor and on the staircase. So
that is the creepiest thing that I have seen. And for me, is seeing somebody peek behind. So it scares me a little. Being a medium, it startles me.
Behind me, sometimes I see my dad peeking around the bookcase. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure if it's more of a feeling than what I'm actually physically seeing, like with my eyes. I don't know if maybe I'm just mentally picturing it. Have you seen them?
Times.
Have you?
Yes. When I worked for a hospital, mental hospital, I seen that quite frequently in the older buildings, believe it or not, and some of the newer. So, yeah, we had tunnels. It's kind of creepy sometimes when they startle you.
Yeah. And then let's see, I've got a couple more here, but I'll go ahead and I'll share this one too. This image is of the Logan Inn. Been here. Ooh. I would like to have stayed in the inn. I never got the chance to stay in it, but we did have dinner here one night. And this is the ghost of Emily appears as guests are sleeping. There's also a male ghost that's seen sometimes in bathroom mirrors. I don't like those peepers. They need to stay out of the bathrooms. Okay. Yeah. And then of course there's Revolutionary and Civil War soldiers seen here. Yeah. It's a pretty cool place. This inn was built, I'm trying to see when it was built. It's right in New Hope, and I wish they would tell me when it was about. Here we go. No, I don't want to book a room.
Why not?
Yeah. No. Well, I'd love to be back there, and they don't give you any history of it, but it's pretty cool. It's been there forever, just like most of these other places have been there forever. Has the same architecture as the 1700s.
Yeah. So much history. Like, I'm just still amazed on how they built these houses, and the engineering that it took for them to build these houses and how sturdy they are. They're more sturdier than the houses that we build now. So it's crazy.
Yeah, they really did. And you know, from a climate standpoint, I mean, Pennsylvania has tornadoes, so there's always that potential for an impact back there, but they don't have the monster tornadoes that you have, like the F4s and F5s. I remember that, I think that was the first tornado I've ever been in, was in this county. And I remember when we had a weather radio, because you just do, basically I had it for lightning, because I was outside with the horses and stuff. I wanted to know what was going on. But one night that bloody radio went off, and it's like, tornado, you know, the tornado warning, go to the lowest shelter, blah, 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 go to the basement, blah, blah, blah. I freaked out being from Northern California. I'm like, I don't even know where to go, man. And so I'm like in the basement under a bed, like completely freaked out. And my friends are cracking up because they're like, it's a F0, man. Don't, like, it probably took off some shingles. I was so freaked out. But that was my first experience of a really major storm.
Oh my gosh.
I would think that a lot of these structures, these really old stone structures, can probably withstand a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, probably. I just remember hiding under my desk majority of the time, like in school drills.
Oh, I know. No, when they had the whole atomic drills, like for me, when I was in school, like the desk is going to help. Like, really?
What do you think about that now? I'm like, what is this little measly desk going to do? I can barely fit in
radiation blasting us, but that'll, So there's a lot of roads. There's a lot of roads, Dark Hollow Road, Hansel Road, all of these roads back there, and all these little townships, because every Pennsylvania's townships, right? And so all of these little townships have all of these areas where you're driving down them. I used to drive a lot at night back there on all these little 2-lane roads, because the feeling, you'd be driving and you come in through like a holler, like in Kentucky speak when I lived there. You'd get into this little valley, these little, tiny little valleys, and all of a sudden this overwhelming feeling. You knew that there was a skirmish or something happened there. I mean, the Revolutionary War and the whole Confederate War, it didn't just happen on big battlefields. There was skirmishes
all over,
everywhere. People battling everywhere. And so one of the barns that I kept my horse in, almost all of the farm, I mean, you have to clear a forest to build anything back there, because it's just, it was so dense. So the hardwood forests come right up to like fence lines and everything. And you'd sit out there at night. I know we'd be drinking a beer or something after riding all day. We'd be sitting out there and you see movement in the trees, but you see through them. It's apparitions in the trees, because they don't know that your farm is there. They're moving through just like they did.
Yeah.
So,
and you hear noises too. Like,
oh boy. You can hear gunshot noises. Every once in a while, people would report. I hadn't heard it, but people would report, especially around our barn, like old gunshots or cannon noises. I didn't hear the cannon noises.
Oh, yeah.
But I think if the atmosphere is just right, that history is there on a loop, and that energy stays.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that, because I was just thinking that, when I was over there, and I think any human being can feel the energy there, even if they're non-believers. But it's also that feeling of there's something very powerful, and what happened all over there, right? Or anywhere for that matter. But it's kind of that sense of pride, and not knowing how we have progressed through time. And it's just that feeling, like, historically in a human, genetics, if you really think about it, like DNA, it's in our DNA. We know something happened here. You may not know all of it, but there's the feeling of, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's crazy.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was a beautiful place to live. I was back there, I think 6.5 years. It was gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just so much historic stuff. Like everywhere you turn, there's a new pub at a different, a different pub and tavern and historical home that you can tour, or garden, the Longwood Gardens. That was more towards, where is that? South of Philly. But there's just all of this stuff that you can go see. And I didn't probably take advantage of everything I should have when I was back there, because you're working and you can't really, it's hard. But the energy back there can be really, really overwhelming. But it's also very, very cool. But the one thing that is so different than living in the West and growing up in the Western United States is we're used to space.
Oh, yeah.
When we go out, we can actually go hiking and not see another soul. Back there, you go hiking and you meet 100 people. You go to a campground, you're 5 foot away from the next tent and the next tent and the next tent. And it's a different experience at a different level of humanity, because there's so many people on the Eastern Seaboard.
Yeah.
So we are spoiled being in the Western US, because like Montana, the big sky, it's true. Yeah. When you get out to Montana, even Idaho, even Northern California, you get up in the Sierras, you may not see another person.
Yeah.
And I don't think if people on the East Coast have ever experienced that anywhere. They may be alone for an hour or two, but they're going to run into somebody. And especially if you hiked any part of the Appalachian Trail, it's like a train of people.
It's crazy. It's almost kind of like whether they view the cities as like a concrete jungle is what I hear sometimes. Yeah. And it's just amazing. Like when we went to Washington, D.C., and they have big houses and all these hills, and they have all these bushes and ivies and stuff growing everywhere. There's the interstate on the other side of that, but you can't see it.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah. It's just a different feeling. It's fun to experience it. I would say if you're from the West, you need to experience the East Coast at some point, because it is phenomenally beautiful, but you'll miss our space. You'll miss being able to see and vistas and all of this stuff. It's different.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful. It's breathtaking in the fall. It was my favorite time. I was an air traffic controller in the Navy. My favorite part of the year was being in the control tower in the fall, because every window you look out of is a different postcard of color.
Yeah.
And then
it's really beautiful.
July in the tower is cool because the airfield is closed. We have to be there in case there's an emergency. But all we did was watch fireworks all the way around us. That was fun.
Oh, wow.
But the fall, the color, the history of it all, it's something worth experiencing if you haven't. And if you are a haunted buff at all, you need to go to Bucks County, Pennsylvania, because every square inch of that place is haunted.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, what the heck? This was an amazing show, honestly. I wanted to thank our listeners and everybody for the journey through history and hauntings. I think that's awesome. And like she said, if you've been to Washington Crossing and you guys had an experience, let us know. I think we would love to know. We would like to share your story someday in a future, episode. And let's see what's going on.
All right.
I guess until next time, stay curious, everybody. Stay safe. And remember, the past is never truly gone. It walks beside us, waiting to be heard.
There you go. I like that. That's so deep. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.
Must be the glasses.